cannot think of a better way to bring down the curtain. Pettis with
Did you see that? He ran off the wall like a ninja and landed a high kick. Unbelievable. I've never seen anything like that. It's like something out of a movie.
Anthony Pettis goes full Matrix on the champion, and now he's got him in trouble.
UFC President Dana White. Dana, walk us through your decision-making process. What were your options after Henderson pulled out?
Well, obviously, you know, to fight a guy like Johnny Bones Jones on 8 days' notice, it's tough to get a replacement. I called, you know, Machida is the #1 contender after Henderson, and when I called him, he was literally on a flight landing in some country for a connecting flight to Brazil. So, we exhausted all the options. We called Chael Sonnen. Chael Sonnen literally said to me, "I'll fight him tonight in Las Vegas at Mandalay Bay or any other casino you choose." And he was ready to go. We called John Bones Jones. He's not only is he the world champion, he's one of the top 3 ranked, pound-for-pound fighters in the world. He said, "I will not fight Chael Sonnen on 8 days' notice."
Certainly one of the biggest draws in the world. So it was only because of the 8 days' notice. I mean, did he give you any other reasoning for why he refused to fight Sonnen?
His coach, Greg Jackson, told him not to take the fight, saying it would be the biggest mistake that he's ever made in his entire career, which is absolutely insane. The guy is the world champion. He's beat all the top guys over the last, year and a half. We bought the UFC in 2001. I've done almost 1,800 fights. No fighter has ever turned down a fight, and this is the first ever UFC that's ever had to be canceled.
Here we go! Green trunks for the southpaw, the notorious Conor McGregor. Black trunks for the champion, Jose Aldo Jr. Proud and relaxed and smiling. Oh! Just like that! It's the new UFC featherweight champion of the world!
Fighting out of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, he is the greatest World Series of Fighting presenting his winner,
Good evening. The UFC organization was notified tonight that the U.S. Anti-Doping Agency has informed John Jones of a potential anti-doping policy violation stemming from an out-of-competition sample collection on June 16th, 2016. USADA, the independent administrator of the UFC anti-doping policy, will handle results management and appropriate adjudication of this case. It is important to note that under the UFC anti-doping policy, there's a full, fair, legal review process that is afforded to all athletes before any sanctions are imposed. However, because Jones was scheduled to compete against Daniel Cormier this coming Saturday, July 9th in Las Vegas, there's insufficient time for a full review before the scheduled bout, and therefore the fight has been removed from the fight card.
How many chances can you give this guy? How many breaks can you cut this kid? But I still haven't talked to John Jones.
You haven't talked to him?
I haven't, and I'm not gonna. There is nothing for us to talk about.
What if he called you in 30 seconds after this interview? Would you take it?
No, I'm not talking to John Jones. I'm not talking to him. There's no reason for us to talk. The guy is a professional, and I'm not the biggest John Jones fan right now, but I truly believe that he did take a supplement that had this stuff in it, and it wasn't intentional. I truly believe that. But at the same time, come on. You're 28 years old. You're probably the greatest talent to ever set foot in this sport. Call USADA and tell them what supplements you're taking. You know, you've already been through this history of just absolute madness. Forget doing it to us. Why would you do this to yourself?
Only Metro PCS brings you closer than ever to UFC 200.
Looking at that, what was your reaction when you saw the pictures, and in particular that 3D image of his skull? I mean, there is a dent in this man's skull, and then he's saying he wants to fight in 3 months, or at least his ex-wife saying crazy. That. What is Joe Rogan called it the worst injury he's ever seen in MMA, and I don't know if that's, you know, I don't know. I don't even know if we need to, like, you know, rank these, but what was your reaction when you saw that?
It was the worst I've ever seen, just because, I mean, obviously when you see someone's leg break, like the Anderson Silva or something, they're grotesque, but when it's your skull, I mean, just to see, it looked like his skull was caved in partly. And
Daly punches Koscheck at the end of the fight, and look at Dan Mergliotta. Wow.
Paul, are you kidding me? You're professional. Come on. Paul, you're professional. Yeah, I know. You promised me. Promise me. You heard the bell.
Wow.
You heard the bell.
That was terrible.
Dana, can I have you follow up on that incident?
He's done. I don't give a shit if he's the best 170-pounder in the world. He'll never come back here again.
We're talking Paul Daly.
Yeah.
You're cutting him from the UFC.
Yeah. He'll never come back.
Sad, second to none.
He front kicked him in the face. Absolutely right. Trying to finish. It is over. Kick to the face. Anderson Silva remains the heavyweight champion. A front kick to the face.
It's a good shot to the body.
Oh, nice.
He checked it.
No.
He hurt himself.
He hurt his leg. And then it's all over. Anderson hurt his leg when the kick was checked, and Weidman remains the champion.
Watch this. He checks it. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Wow.
woke up inside a foreign. And I woke up like, goddamn, I should be torn. See you know, nigga, trapped to the morning. Mention money around me, I'm on it. I said this rap shit, I want it. Turn up.
Decision-making process. What were your options after Henderson pulled out?
Well, obviously, you know, to fight a guy like Johnny Bones Jones on 8 days' notice, it's tough to get a replacement. I called, you know, Machida is the #1 contender after Henderson, and when I called him, he was literally on a flight landing in some country for a connecting flight to Brazil. So, we exhausted all the options. We called Chael Sonnen. Chael Sonnen literally said to me, "I'll fight him tonight in Las Vegas at Mandalay Bay or any other casino you choose." And he was ready to go. We called John Bones Jones. He's not only is he the world champion, he's one of the top 3 ranked, pound-for-pound fighters in the world. He said, "I will not fight Chael Sonnen on 8 days' notice."
He's certainly one of the biggest.
Steph and I cannot think of a better way to bring down the curtain.
Oh my God! Did you see that? He ran off the wall like a ninja and landed a high kick. Unbelievable! I've never seen anything like that. It's like something out of a movie.
Anthony Pettis goes full Matrix on the champion, and now he's got him in trouble.
UFC President Dana White. Dana, walk us through your